Hey everybody, how we doing? So it's been a while since I've streamed. I'm sorry, but we're gonna fix that. I'm working on it. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this roboute guilliman, and we're gonna see what we can do with knocking that out and getting back into the shape of things and giving you guys your video content because we miss you guys. I miss you. Now hopefully it's the same way around. So without ado, I'm gonna give this a shot and see if our new setup here actually works the way that I want it to, and we'll see what happens. So this is how far I am with Mr. Roboute himself. Got some other things I need to, play with a little bit. Thanks, Spawn. I really appreciate that. Glad to hear that there's somebody still out there in Twitch lands. Um, where was I at? Oh yeah. So we're gonna be playing with Mr. Roboute today. We've got some NMMs, some non-metallic mellow going on, playing with the sword. I still haven't quite like where the sword is, but that's a work in progress. We'll figure it out as we go here. So I got this going on. I want to get his other arm on so that way I can get a little bit more feel of like what he's gonna look like. So it kind of helps me, shape the rest of it in my head. So I got his other arm on a shtick because it's the fun part. And look at it, it's so white that you can't barely even see it. So let me get some color on this here quick so we can actually see what we're doing. So with this, I'm actually using some Pro Acryl Monument Hobby paints for this. I'm actually, for the darkest blue, I'm actually using dark gray blue. Let's get some blue on here so that way it's not so washed out. I could have went and airbrushed this, but I didn't feel like it. I didn't wanna. Plus it helps I don't have my airbrush in here right now, so forced my hand with that one. Is Brett. Steal my brother's trick here for a second. Oh, did you? Awesome. I'll check him out here in just a second. Piece of white paper towel like this, put it on there, and hey, look, bam, darkness. So we'll definitely go and check those out when I'm done with painting this arm here and see what you got going on. How far that? Lob it in there. It's, I think you'll like what you see. That's if your eyes don't pop out from looking. I hope not. I kind of like my eyes to stay in my head, but now I'm really intrigued to see what you got. I'll save it myself for dessert. All the little fingers. Uh-oh. Those are my kind of projects. So they say that you're going to be insane. So if that's the case, this better be pretty epic. I've had a few ask me if I. Oh yeah, you already said that. I thought that was something new that just came in. I already read it. I'm just starting with the deeper recesses here. I'm gonna work my way back out. Trying to get some of this white taken care of. Wait, it's a little bit easier for you guys to see what I'm actually doing. That way we're not all sitting here, blinded by the white glaring squares on the screen. I do not have the camera dialed in yet, completely. Won't even lie. First coat of the blue. The black knocked out here in a second. Oh, it's epic. Oh, okay. Gonna be the crown jewel of my entire ancient collection of 40K. Uh-oh. I'd go look at it right now, but I do not have my Discord on this PC at the moment. It's gonna have to wait. I'm gonna be sitting here thinking about the entire time now. There. Throwing in some rubber black on all of these undersuit, like the elbow, all the joints, because you know how Space Marines be. That this hose is black too. I got some pretty fun Age of Sigmar models that were bought for me to paint on stream that I'm looking forward to just to do something else besides 40K for a minute. I think it's like what was it? One of them is like it's like a Tyrannosaurus sitting like on a stone throne. I forgot what it's called. Then another one looks like a big tree that's like possessed. That's not something I get to paint every day. That should be interesting. All right. Some of that white's out of there so we can get the gold rolling. I'm just giving an overall general base coat. A little more runny. I'm just trying to get it so that way it seeps into all the nooks and cracks, all the crevices. You know, I always like painting when you first look at a model and you're like, oh, that looks atrocious. Because you only got like one, maybe two colors in there. You're not too worried about how clean you are being at the moment because you're just trying to block out colors. Like that meme or whatever it's called pops in my head. It's like, brother, what is that? Brown's pretty thin. Let's see if we can take this away. Here we go. That's better. All right. Ooh, runny. Little runny. All right. Let's see what we can do now. Start with these little fingers. They're not really that little. I mean, it is roboute called. Those are pretty big fingers. So I'm gonna try to start bumping up the contrast with it with my other blues. Get some, flavor to this armor. That nice color blue. Just working on the fingertips at the moment. Steadily increase your brightness of the blue here. You're gonna see I'm gonna use words. I'm gonna use less and less of it as I get up in the color. All right, now I'm going to start adding another color of blue in, like a sky blue. This is more for tracing thing. At this point, like looking for all the little edge highlights, stuff of that nature on the knuckles, on the tips of the fingers. All right, now we're going to go even a little bit brighter. This is more of a pinpoint, so we're like looking for the really sharp corners, like right at the tips. Does not take much of this at all. Thanks, Matthew, for the follow. I really appreciate it, brother. Yeah, this is one of those things where a lot goes a long way. This is where they get those like really cool reflection points. And we could take this up even further if we wanted to add a little white in here. I think I'm going to wait until I get the rest of that armor up and running. Because right now, the rest of that, that forward arm guard is, it needs work. It's barely anything done to it. We can get there, though. I just need to give it a second to dry so that I can get a couple of these little white spots back out. So it's blue. And then we're going to go in here and start brightening it up, get our reflection points in. Not too worried about some of the white showing through where the gold is going to be, because that's going to take multiple layers, me going back and forth, blending things out. That's the fun part. The fun, long grind of non-metallic metal. Like one of those things, it's like when it's done, it looks awesome, but be a pain to work through it all. All right. I'm gonna basically go through the same colors I just did for the fingers. I'm gonna start blocking out some of the, little spots in between the bracer here. Brightening it up in specific places. Giving the light, or a place for the light to bounce off a little bit, just giving a little bit more characteristics. Actually, more gold on this gauntlet than there is blue. Just gonna keep moving right up the blue, so a little bit brighter. Doing this blue first before the gold because it's a deeper recess. If I don't, I go back, spend more time cleaning everything up and actually getting blend. I don't want to do that. It does not sound like a fun time. Now I'm gonna look more towards reflections. Right in here, blend out. Right here in this little like filigree area. Come here and kind of trace along the edge of the filigree. Just give it a little pop in that corner. Back up here, I'm going to do kind of the same thing up in this little area here. Out some lines. Not have to go too crazy with it. If I find spots I don't like, I can always come back and just re-darken them, re-blend. Sometimes you also have to get other work done in there so you can kind of play with it to get the reflections right. At this point, I am going to have to start doing a little bit of the gold just to start filling it out. So I'm going to start with, the recipe I'm using for this is going to be flat earth. Then we also have ochre brown. And obviously we have your ice yellow, because what's NMM without ice yellow? The big thing I'm going to do right now is kind of go back and see where I want to put those reflections at. So I'm going to basically sketch them out in a sense. So he's got his arm. Pull Robbie G over here for a second. So he's got his arm, comes out, kind of pointed out forward. So we got like kind of this style. So I'd say like we got our lights probably gonna be bouncing right off the top here, like in this nice line. So we're gonna come on here. We're gonna add some light reflections here. Secondaries on the side, I believe, would be a good pattern to start with. All right, let's see what we got here. So I'm gonna come right up here on this ridge. Start just mapping them out. For that. Bounce it off the wing here a little bit. This is tilted, this little crown here, so I'm gonna actually reverse the reflection. I'm gonna do the bright on the other side. Give it a little bit more flavor, I think. I'm just kind of start with that band right there and work my way out. I'm gonna start bringing in some of that ochre as I get this blue I picked up it on my brush somewhere. Just go and hit this kind of the same spots a little bit. This is right now more of, like I said, sketching. So, big thing I'm trying to do is find out where I want everything to go for my reflections before I start doing all the actual back and forth blending. Make them all look nice and crisp, like they belong. And I'm gonna get the sketch in there for my iced yellow, and then we kind of start to kind of see it come out how we want it to look like. I'll take a little bit of ice yellow and that ochre and put it together though, just to create a step in between. See that reflections are starting to come out. Now I'm gonna go straight to that ice yellow. And I got myself a nice reflection to start off with. So when that reflection is on the model, it should be somewhere in that range when he's pointing out forward like that. So it gives us a good spot. Now we gotta like roll it and get the other reflections that are gonna be in there to help emphasize that gold. The first thing I want to do is I'm gonna come in here, touch up the darkness here, before I start taking it away again. And I'm gonna do more in this area too, in all these areas. I'm just working out. I'm trying to get that first line going through for the reflections, and then I'm gonna start building out the other secondary reflections. Bounce up to that yellow ochre. All right, we're gonna go into that mix now that we had. You're right. This isn't red. I broke free. You can't take me back. Never going back. Here we go. I got that first light band starting to pop out on that armor there. So now we need to do kind of a reverse setting. So we've got this band that's coming through here. And we got to get something in here because obviously that's not. We want to keep a little bit darker because that's not where the light band is, but we need to make it look natural too. This is a fun part. I say fun like it's actually fun. It's not. But we need dark, but we need pops of light. We need to look still gold, but we also need to make it so that way it is a shadow. Means right now, since I'm only using it's primarily one colors, the reflections, it's got to be careful. Just build up pinpoints of light. That way this still looks more of a shadow, but you can tell it's the same type of material. Slowly but surely, we're working our way up here. Trying to keep it subtle. We don't want to go too overboard. We don't want to blow past the rest of our armor here. Bring in my actual high points. All right, Spawn. Sounds good. I should be here for a little bit yet. But here it, where did it wanted to be? Oh, just cover back up. Gone. Boom. Yeah, we're getting that glove to come out. All right, so let's get this piece of the filigree right here. I remember your rowboat. Pepper Ridge Farm remembers your rowboat. Isn't that? Didn't I paint yours the same time when I painted like two, three robutos at the same time, but they're all in different colors? Wasn't it during that era? Although others were right after yours. Well, thank you. I appreciate it as always. Moving my hand too low. You found a hobby more expensive than 40K. Do I even want to know what this hobby is? I have a feeling he's going to tell us. Oh no. Did you fall into the pinball machine rehab hobby? Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd feel bad for your wallet, but yeah, kind of did it to yourself. The first one, the first one. How many pinball machines we talking here? Had to take your phones right out of the box, but it's a ton of fun. Soon to be more. I hope you have a big basement, my friend, or garage, or a man cave, or anywhere else that you can hide from the misses, because you've brought it upon yourself. Soon to be more. I shoved it in my office. Do you have a big office? Or is this going to be like one of those dirty secret pinball hobby machines that, you have to like go rent an apartment just to fill? I can see now your wife coming up to you and be like, you want to tell me why we're paying $600 extra a month for an apartment on the east side of town? But it ain't big. Office is the second biggest room in the house, but it ain't big enough. Yep. The things that could be said to that, inappropriate. I know you're all thinking it. I wasn't gonna say it. Wasn't gonna say it. All right, so it looks like we got basically the first parts of the gold laydown on that side. As you can see, I'm just kind of tracing along, filling those out. But alas, this is roboute guilliman. We have filigree everywhere, so we gotta keep going. The only thing worse, the filigree on robuto is chaos marines. That prepped. Just think of when you finally get out here and I smoke a pile of meat, you can go into a meat coma while playing pinball. I have heard worse ways to die, my friends. I've heard worse ways to die. I will accept that way out. Got filigree that wraps into his filigree. It's his inner gauntlet. It is. Okay. The white spot. Oh, look at that white spot popping out. Like it. All right. Two little spots on his fingertip. Wasn't supposed to be there, so we're gonna go ahead and fix that here quick. All right, let's get this muddy side. It's all muddy on this side, and then we got that nice crisp gold. Let's keep wrapping him around here. So we got that first reflection. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of one right here. Bring this out just into the shapes because that's supposed to be the darker side. Grab that flat earth, that Vallejo flat earth. Start just picking out my spots. Move into my yellow ochre. Oh, with what I will be working on in the future soon, I'll have very little room to work on it. Oh, a little bit of crypticness going on there. Not sure what you're talking about. I know you got the big epic thing you said. What else are you working on? You'll see going back to teasing me with my own Discord. I see how it is. I'm gonna hold you to that at this point. You're building it up pretty big. That yellow ochre mixed in with some iced yellow. You who follow me on my streams are after me to start it, but I can't till I get all the parts for it. Too heavy to send in one shipment, but it's a stream only project. Ooh. This thing better be like, person sized. Something. Add a little bit more color in there. I feel like I got a dead spot right. All right. We're bringing in his elbow here. Get off this pull or this greave brace. There it is, bracer for a minute, and we're gonna go top of his elbow. Start getting in some of that blue reflections. Little bit in here. I know most of this is actually gonna get covered with this pauldron once we put it on. So we got that underside to do. That's still looking pretty gnarly down there. All part of the process. All right. A little bit more blue tuck in this corner here. Got some of that white undercoat popping through for the primer. We will give that a second. I'm thinking gun casing is probably going to be black. We're going to have some, non-metallic silvers in here. Caution striped cable. It's funny because it's like it's a bolter, but it's set up. Looks like it could be a flamethrower too. Kind of weird like that. Never really understood that. Pick out some yellow ochre. Sorry, flat earth. We're on flat earth. Getting ahead of myself here. Catch all those edges. Hey, Primal Carrot, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Hope you've been doing good. I haven't heard from you in a while. Well, to be fair, I haven't been on in a while either, so that kind of solves that right there. Adding more reflections here and there. What's good, Primo? Lose some of my paint here. Hit that dry out point. Some more of that iced yellow ochre mixture going. And just edge highlighting everything. That way all these filigree lines actually start coming on. How just that little thing makes everything start to pop out. But we also need a little bit more blue in there too, because we got it's like a concave circle. I'm sorry, it's like a cylinder circle here. Cylinder circle. I can tell it's almost dinner time. My brain's starting to not function. Need to pop in some blue here because it's like a cylinder shape, so we have that like light band that comes through it. You can see it a lot, like if you know, like on a pop can or something like that. You see that line; it's like really sharp, going straight up and down. There we go. Now I'm gonna start pulling out the actual iced earth by itself. Really start tracing everything out. These shapes really to pop out. Here we pop these rivets out. Spots here, all these cracks. Gotta get those cracks. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. We need to catch that elbow up a little bit. We got that first color of blue on there. Let's get that medium between the blue and like the ice blue. Or light blue, sky blue, whatever you want to call it. Basically, we're just kind of building up where that light's going to be hitting. We're like building up kind of a dot in a sense. But we just want to fade it out so that way it matches everything else. There's that. And then I'm going to come in and get a little bits of the blue without the light blue in it towards the bottom just to help blend it back into the rest of it. While that's drying, grab some of this flat earth. Start building out some of these reflections in the elbow armor. Yep, I got it all over my. All right, a little bit of water. Take it right back off. All right, you do that. I got probably about 20, 30 minutes myself, and then I got to go eat dinner before I come back for my nighttime shift of painting because I am a glutton for punishment when it comes to painting. So at that point is when I'm going to go look at my Discord spawn and see what kind of craziness you have on your plate. All right, we'll go fix this hose. I got like paint all over. Here we go. There we go. Now we're starting to see it. Got a little bit here on this inside we got to do yet. Camera move or did I move? I moved. All right. How's this going to look with this pauldron on? I don't want to go too crazy on that stuff. It's going to disappear right under that pauldron. So if that's the case, see if I can call in a bottle of Everland. Okay, let's see here. You know, if I could ask Devin if he can bring in some yellow for me. Mr. Devin, I'd please like to write to you. I am requesting some Everland. Yellows. Do you have Everland and Phalanx yellow? Well, he's got one of them. Thank you, sir. Uriel Yellow, whatever. Uriel Yellow. I know. It's been a while. All right. I'm gonna have to bust out my recipe tonight and pick out what silvers I actually want to use, or grays I want to use to make silver for this model. Hey, do I have glue in this room? That's the question. Hey, David, can you bring me one of the super glues? He's gonna murder me. Oh no. Spawn, what have you done to yourself? Those are quite the undertakings you're taking, Spawn. I said I actually looked at my phone and yeah, yeah. You could be a busy boy. Actually put his arm on now while I'm at this stage of it. Oh come. Is there in here? Nope, sure don't. Back 2 seconds. All right, so we got that. We can get this pauldron done. That we still need to get in there and like do the underside of them. Well, but for right now, we're gonna let this dry so that way I got a nice strong bond. Then we'll go in there and handle his other pauldron and then his gun. That way we can get that wrapped up and move on to some other parts of this project of this. But in the first time, I'm gonna go get some food because I'm starting to stumble over my own brain, and no one wants to hear me go blah 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 blah, blah half the time. So I shall be back hopefully here in about an hour and a half. Then I'll hit you back up here in a second, Spawn, on our Discord because you got some work, man. All right. Until a little bit from now on, I'll talk to you guys here shortly. Hope you all enjoy.